Today we're diving into the fascinating world of rib anatomy. It might seem like a bunch of bones, but understanding the ribs is super important, especially for us in medicine. Why? Because these curved wonders form a protective cage around vital organs. Your heart, lungs, and major blood vessels are all nestled safely within the rib cage. Knowing how these bones are structured and how they connect is crucial for diagnosing and treating injuries. Imagine trying to piece together a puzzle without knowing what the final picture should look like. That's what it's like trying to understand chest injuries without a solid grasp of rib anatomy. So, let's break it down and get familiar with these essential bones. Now let's zoom in on a single rib. Each rib, except for the bottom few, has a similar structure. Think of it like a gently curved blade with a few key parts. At the back, where the rib meets the spine, you have the head. This is the part that actually connects to the vertebrae, kind of like a ball and socket joint. Moving along the rib, you'll find a slightly narrowed area called the neck. Next comes the main part of the rib, the body. This is the long, curved section that gives the rib cage its shape. Finally, towards the front, there's a knobby bit called the tubercle. This tubercle is important because it helps the rib connect to the transverse process of a vertebra, adding stability to the rib cage. Alright, time to talk types of ribs. We've got 12 pairs, 24 in total, but they're not all created equal. We divide them into three main categories: true ribs, false ribs, and floating ribs. True ribs are the overachievers of the group. There are 7 pairs, and they attach directly to the sternum, the breastbone in the front, via their own individual costal cartilages. These are the top 7 pairs, and they provide the most rigid support for the chest. Next up, false ribs. These guys, pairs 8, 9, and 10, are a bit more relaxed. They don't have their own direct connection to the sternum. Instead, their cartilages join together, and then attach to the cartilage of the 7th rib. Finally, we have the free spirits, the floating ribs. Pairs 11 and 12 are shorter and don't attach to the sternum at all. They hang freely, providing some protection to the back of the chest and offering attachment points for muscles. Now let's talk about how these ribs actually connect to the rest of the skeleton. We'll start with the back, where the ribs meet the spine. This connection is called the posterior articulation. Remember the head of the rib we talked about? Well, it fits snugly into a facet, a little indentation formed by 2 adjacent vertebrae. It's like a puzzle piece slotting into place. This joint is called the costovertebral joint. To make things even more secure, there are ligaments, strong bands of tissue, holding everything together. These ligaments limit movement and add stability to the joint, preventing the ribs from slipping out of place. Moving on to the front of the rib cage, we have the anterior articulations. This is where the true ribs, and indirectly the false ribs, connect to the sternum. The first 7 ribs each have their own costal cartilage, a strong, slightly flexible material that acts like a bridge between the bone and the sternum. These cartilages allow for some movement which is essential for breathing. The joints where the costal cartilages meet the sternum are called sternocostal joints. Again, ligaments play a crucial role here, providing reinforcement and limiting excessive movement. Now let's shift gears and talk about a common injury: rib fractures. These happen when one or more ribs crack or break, usually due to a direct blow to the chest. Imagine a car accident, a nasty fall, or even a powerful cough in someone with weakened bones. These can all generate enough force to fracture a rib. Rib fractures are pretty common, especially in older adults who might have thinner, more fragile bones. The location and severity of the fracture can vary widely. Sometimes it's a hairline crack, other times it's a complete break. The middle ribs are the most commonly fractured, probably because they're less protected by muscles and other structures. So, how do you know if you fractured a rib? Well, pain is the most obvious symptom. It'll hurt to breathe deeply, cough, or twist your torso. You might even feel a sharp, stabbing pain at the fracture site. Sometimes you can actually feel a grating sensation when you breathe, which is a sign that the broken ends of the rib are rubbing together. That's a definite red flag to see a doctor. To diagnose a rib fracture, we usually start with a physical exam, feeling for tenderness or deformity along the rib cage. X-rays are the gold standard for confirming the diagnosis, showing us the exact location and severity of the fracture. The good news is that most rib fractures heal on their own with time and rest. The bad news is that it can be a painful process. Treatment usually focuses on pain management and making sure you can breathe deeply enough to prevent lung complications. Over-the-counter pain relievers can help, and in some cases your doctor might prescribe stronger medications. Breathing exercises are also super important to keep your lungs healthy and prevent pneumonia, which can be a risk, especially in older adults. In the past, doctors used to wrap the chest tightly to immobilize the ribs, but we've moved away from that. Wrapping can actually restrict your breathing and increase the risk of lung problems. So, there you have it, a crash course on rib anatomy. We've covered the structure of the ribs, the different types, how they connect to the spine and sternum, and even what happens when they fracture. As you can see, understanding rib anatomy is essential for anyone in the medical field. It helps us diagnose and treat a wide range of conditions, from simple muscle strains to serious chest injuries. Keep in mind, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's always more to learn about the intricate workings of the human body. So keep those brains engaged, and never stop exploring the amazing world of medicine.